My dear radiant soul, welcome. You have not arrived here by chance. No, the stirring in your heart, that sacred ache for transformation, is the very voice of God whispering through your own consciousness. Tonight, I ask only this of you. Give me your belief, just for a little while. Lend me your attention, not as one who listens with the ears alone, but as one who receives with the spirit. For what you are about to hear is not merely instruction. It is the unlocking of a divine secret that has the power to reorder the entire structure of your reality. There is a phrase so simple, so unassuming, that if spoken to yourself with conviction, with sacred regularity, and with the fire of faith for a mere 48 hours, will begin to unravel the old world and summon a new one into form. Yes, I say unto you, 48 hours of consecrated inner speech can begin the miracle your heart has long desired. This is no fanciful claim. I do not traffic in idle hope or vague spirituality. I speak of law, divine, immutable, eternal. For you are not a creature beneath circumstance. You are not at the mercy of events. You are the operant power, the imaginal Christ in man, the one who speaks reality into being by the word within. And the word is your self-talk, that sacred murmur in the silence of your mind. That is your creative command. So I ask you, what if I told you that the only thing standing between you and your healing, between you and abundance, between you and the reunion with love longed for, is a sentence, a phrase, a sacred mantra whispered, not to some distant deity, but spoken directly to yourself, the indwelling God who has waited so patiently for you to remember? And what if I told you that all that is required is 48 hours of inner faithfulness? Can you believe that? Will you believe it? You must, because it is true. In the beginning was the Word, not spoken into air, but into self, not written upon stone, but upon the living tablets of the heart. And that Word was with God, and that Word was God. You, my dear friend, are the Word made flesh. And if you speak aright within, the world will yield without. This phrase, this holy utterance I shall soon give you, is not magic but law. It is not superstition but alignment. When you speak it, you will not be begging the universe. You will be assuming the posture of divine command. You will no longer say, I hope it will be, or one day it might come to pass. No, you will speak from the end, from the place of already having, already being, already knowing. And I tell you now, if you can do this for just 48 hours, if you can saturate your inner world with this phrase, guard your mental temple like a priest before the altar, and speak this truth to yourself even when appearances scream otherwise, then prepare your heart for the winds of change. Let me be clear, this is not about parroting words with a cold heart. This is not about hollow affirmation. No, this phrase must become your sacred breath. You must wear it upon your mind as the high priest wore the golden diadem engraved with holiness to the Lord. You must feel it in your bones. You must whisper it to yourself with reverence. You must feel it as the only truth. Now, you may wonder, how can such a simple thing hold such power? But I ask you, how did God create the heavens and the earth? By word, not hammer and nail, not by toil and sweat, but by fiat. Let there be light. And there was. That same authority lies dormant within you. And I have come tonight to awaken it. You will not leave here the same. You cannot, because once you have tasted the creative majesty of your own inner voice, once you have felt the shift that occurs when you speak from the end and not toward it, once you have practiced this holy phrase for 48 hours and witnessed the first signs of resurrection, then you will know, not merely believe. You will underscore. And what is known cannot be unknown. So hear me now. The first step is willingness. The second is belief. The third is discipline. And discipline is simply love made visible. For you will not guard your inner speech for 48 hours unless you love your vision enough to honor it. But if you do, if you love yourself enough to speak only that which supports your divine desire, then you will be astonished at how quickly the world conforms. Because it must. That is law. And so, before this night is done, I will give you the phrase. But not yet, for I must first prepare your heart to receive it. Like a seed in sacred soil, the phrase must be planted in readiness, not resistance. So I say again, give me your trust for 2 days, 48 sacred hours, and your world will begin to bow to the voice of God within you. The change is not somewhere out there. It begins now, in you, through you, as you. Can you feel it? That is the stirring of power returning to its rightful place. That is the mantle of the inner Christ settling once more upon your shoulders. That is the thrill of divine remembrance. And it all begins with a phrase, spoken not just aloud, but inwardly, consistently, faithfully, for 48 hours. So prepare yourself, for this journey is not one of effort. It is one of _assumption_. You are not trying to make something happen. You are allowing what already is in the unseen to become visible. You are not pulling blessings down from heaven. You are releasing heaven through the gate of your own consciousness. You are the miracle. You are the phrase made flesh. And it begins now. Now close your eyes. Breathe. Place your hand over your heart and simply say within, I am ready. We're only just beginning. Let us now take a moment, my beloved, to understand the fountain from which these teachings flow, not merely to revere the messenger, but to reawaken within yourself the memory of who you truly are. For what I share with you is not my invention. It is the eternal law, rediscovered, remembered, and reaffirmed through a man who dared to take the scriptures not as history, but as a psychological blueprint of the soul's unfolding. My name is Neville Goddard, but do not let the name matter too much. For what I came to do, and what I still do in spirit among you, is not to point to myself, but to point you back to _yourself to that radiant imaginal core within you which is God in action. I am but a voice, echoing from within the chamber of your own awareness. I came not to introduce a new doctrine, but to strip the veil from the oldest truth. And what is that truth? That imagining creates reality, that consciousness is the only cause, that your world is yourself pushed out. For decades, I stood before earnest hearts and searching eyes to declare a single sublime revelation. You are the operant power _ you. Through your imagination, through your inner speech, through the quiet acceptance of the end already fulfilled, are shaping the conditions of your life, moment by moment. I drew not from dogma, nor from the empty rituals of man. I turned instead to the book of books, yes, the Bible, not as a record of ancient tribes and moral laws, but as a spiritual drama, unfolding within the consciousness of every man and woman. I showed my students that Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Moses, David, and even Jesus are not distant figures bound to the sands of Palestine, but eternal symbols, states of consciousness, meant to be awakened and inhabited by _you_. For what is Scripture but a great psychological code, veiled in allegory, and whispered from the higher self to the sleeping soul? And so I taught, not through commandments, but through _assumption_, not by telling you to strive, but by urging you to _be_, to assume the state of the wish fulfilled, not tomorrow, but now, to claim within, with boldness, what the senses do not yet show, and to persist, not in effort, but in _identity_, until the world mirrors your inner conviction. This was not theory for me. It was tested truth. In the solitude of night, I proved it. In the stillness between breaths, I proved it. In the laboratory of my own life, I proved it. And now, you're called to do the same. The technique is simple, though few dare to live it. Speak to yourself as if your desire were already true. Feel it, taste it, wear it in consciousness, and do so not as a performance, but as a sacred right. This is what I call the law of assumption. You assume not what is probable, but what is desired . And in that assumption, you live, move, and have your being, not intermittently, but faithfully, like a flame that does not flicker in the wind. And when you do, the outer world must bend, must reflect, must yield. It is not magic, though it will feel miraculous. It is not delusion, though it defies logic. It is law, as sure as gravity, as precise as mathematics, as intimate as your breath. And at the heart of this law is your imagination, not the faculty of fantasy, but the divine instrument of creation. For imagination is the only redemptive power in man. It is through imagination that God becomes visible in the world. And it is through imagination that you become what you behold. This is why I urge my students to master their inner conversations. For what you whisper to yourself becomes the structure of your future. What you feel inwardly, with repetition and belief, becomes the scaffold upon which the world arranges its scenes. Your inner monologue is the pen of fate. It writes reality in real time. Let no one convince you that change takes years. Let no teacher intimidate you with rituals or intermediaries. You need no priest, no prophet, no condition. You need only assume and persist . I've seen the blind regain sight, the poor become prosperous, the lonely find love, not through striving, but through imagination, not through effort, but through assumption. And what they did, you can do. You see, your inner speech is not mere thought. It is prayer, is prophecy, is causation itself. Every sentence you repeat inwardly is a command given to the unseen forces that shape your path. And the repetition of that command, imbued with emotion and sustained over time, is the most sacred act of creation available to man. That is why I teach not only the what, but the how to sit in silence and feel the end. How to drift to sleep with a phrase on your tongue, as soft and sacred as breath. How to awaken in the morning already clothed in the identity you choose, rather than the one your past will assign you. And now you are here, ready to receive, ready to apply, ready to remember what your soul has always known. I did not come to start a religion. I came to start a revolution of consciousness, where man turns inward and finds the throne of God, not in heaven above, but in imagination within. And now you stand on the threshold. You are being invited into the temple of self-awareness, where every belief becomes a mold, every assumption a prophecy, every word a world. The phrase you shall soon receive is not mine, but yours. For it will only work to the degree that you claim it with your whole being. It is not the phrase itself that holds the power, but your acceptance of it, your union with it, your willingness to become an underscore. For the greatest truth I ever discovered is this. You become what you believe yourself to be. So begin to speak with purpose, begin to feel with intensity, begin to imagine with sacred authority, and let the world be the mirror that proves the law. Now, my beloved friend, it is time to unveil the sacred instrument, time to place the divine seed into your keeping. And I ask that you receive it not as a phrase to be tested, but as a truth to be inhabited . For what I now offer you is not a charm, not a talisman, not an affirmation floating in abstraction, but the very voice of your fulfilled self . Reaching back through time to call you into being. This is the phrase. Isn't it wonderful? Yes, so simple, so soft, but do not be deceived by its brevity. Within those 3 words lives the entire architecture of manifestation, the whole kingdom of heaven compressed into a whisper of gratitude, spoken from the end. You see, this is no idle expression. It is not a question. It is a revelation . It is not asked for permission. It proclaims what already is . It is the echo of the future remembered in the now. Isn't it wonderful? Is not a plea. It is praise. It is thanksgiving . Before the miracle appears. The golden incense of fulfilled desire rising before any sign of change touches the outer world. This phrase is the language of completion. It assumes that the thing is done. It breathes the air of victory. It walks in the garden of answered prayers and says, isn't it wonderful? Not to convince itself, but because it knows no other truth. That is the secret. The phrase works not because of syllables or sound, but because of state . The state from which it is spoken. the energy that pulses through it. When you repeat, isn't it wonderful? And you underscore feel underscore the deep thrill of already having received your desire. When you feel the honeyed piece of dreams fulfilled and the joy that comes not from hope, but from underscore knowing underscore, then you have touched the divine. Then you have planted a seed that must bear fruit. For the law is this: feeling is the secret, not thought, not logic. Underscore feeling underscore. Will you underscore feel as true underscore becomes your world? So, as you speak this phrase to yourself, whisper in the stillness, repeat it as you walk, breathe it as you rest. Do not let it become mechanical. Do not let it become dull with repetition. Let every utterance become a holy moment, charged with the electric current of gratitude. Imagine a scene that would fill your heart with wonder. Imagine the result as though it had come and wrapped itself around your life like a warm robe. And then, say from underscore that place underscore, isn't it wonderful? Let be the phrase that dances through your days and tucks you into your nights. Let it echo in the chambers of your heart until it becomes the natural rhythm of your being. For once it becomes underscore natural underscore, it becomes underscore real underscore. Do not concern yourself with how. The phrase never asks how. It does not worry about process. It dwells in the end. It knows that the moment you feel the wish fulfilled, creation has already begun. The phrase does not petition. The underscore possesses underscore. It takes hold of the unseen and walks as though it were visible. And you will begin to feel the shift. You may be sitting in the same room, wearing the same clothes, facing the same conditions, and yet you will underscore feel underscore different, lighter, bolder, serene. You will feel as though something within you has turned to face the sun. That is the sign. That is the reordering of reality from the inside out. You will begin to walk differently, speak differently, look at others with the eyes of a soul already full. Your very being will say to the world, it is done, and the world must respond. You see, my dear, the phrase is a vessel. It holds the vibration of the fulfilled state, and it offers you a simple way to return to that state again and again, until you're no longer returning to it, but living from it, until the line between imagination and reality disappears, until you can no longer remember underscore, not underscore, having what you now assume. For all true creation is simply the acceptance of what is already yours in the mind of God. And isn't it wonderful? Is your key to that acceptance. Let me tell you a mystery. When Jesus thanked the Father before the miracle, he was not performing a ritual. He was acting from the law. He said, Father, I thank thee that thou hast heard me. Underscore before Uncle Lazarus rose. Underscore before underscore the loaves multiplied. Underscore before underscore the storm stilled. Why? Because gratitude is the final act of faith, is the sound of assumption fulfilled. It is the language of one who knows that the unseen is more real than what is seen. And when you say, isn't it wonderful, with that same spirit, when you do so without needing evidence, without bargaining, without delay, then the resurrection begins in you. The old man dies, and the new man rises. So speak it with tenderness, with reverence, with delight. Say while walking through the park, as if your body were already healed. Say while sipping tea, as if your bank account already overflowed. Say it as you drift into sleep, as if your arms already held the love you once longed for. Let the phrase become your companion, your refuge, your secret place of the Most High. And know this, every time you speak it with feeling, you are threading a golden line through the fabric of your future. You are making the invisible visible. You are declaring to heaven and earth, I have received. I underscore and have isn't it wonderful? Let this phrase become your song, your sacred murmur, your bridge from desire to fulfillment. And watch as your world reshapes itself, not by effort, but by underscore identity underscore. Not by force, but by the gentle, persistent beauty of one who already knows. The promise is kept, the seed is sown, the harvest is near. So now take a breath, and softly, joyfully, truthfully speak it. Let the phrase do its holy work. Why 48 hours? Why not 7 days or 30? Why not a year of striving, improving? Because, my beloved, when it comes to the alchemy of inner transformation, it is not the underscore length underscore of time that changes your world, but the underscore depth underscore of feeling sustained within time. 48 hours is not a number chosen at random. It is a sacred window, a consecrated span of consciousness in which the soul, once aligned with its desired state, may impress upon the subconscious the pattern of a new world. The subconscious does not respond to effort. It responds to underscore impression underscore. And impressions are not made through momentary glimpses of faith or fleeting whispers of truth. They are forged through underscore immersion underscore, repetition with feeling, persistence with conviction, intimacy with the end assumed as already real. In the realm of manifestation, 48 hours is long enough to shift the axis of your inner world, long enough to override the reflexes of fear and lack, long enough to silence the echo of the old man who says, "It's not working," and allow the new man to rise and say, "It is done." You see, in those 2 days, those two precious rotations of the earth around its axis, you're not merely repeating a phrase. You are underscore embodying a state underscore. You are reclothing your awareness with the garments of your fulfilled self. You are saturating the mind in a singular tone, unwavering and alive. Why is this important? Because your subconscious is not swayed by logic, is not convinced by argument. It does not negotiate. It accepts only that which is underscore impressed underscore upon it with feeling. And what is repeated with conviction over 48 hours becomes real to it. And what the subconscious accepts as real, the world must externalize. 2 days? That is all. It is a short enough time that you may remain faithful without exhaustion, and yet long enough that the saturation becomes complete. 48 hours of fidelity to your phrase. Underscore, isn't it wonderful? Underscore, spoken not as hope, but as realization, is enough to set in motion a great turning within you. And when you turn within, the world must turn without. Let me tell you a truth few are willing to see. Most people do not change because they do not persist. They speak a new truth once and hope it will cancel years of contradiction. But the old state is not erased by a single glance at the new. It is undone by underscore dwelling under it, by consistency, by choosing again and again the voice of the wish fulfilled until that voice is the only one that remains. 48 hours gives the soul a fixed season of choosing. It offers no room for wavering. It says to the world, for the next 2 days, I speak only from the mountaintop. I dwell only in the vision. And that choice, sustained without interruption, creates a momentum that the outer world must obey. It is not unlike the story of creation itself. In the beginning, God spoke, and the world was. But what does that mean for you? It means that underscore your underscore beginning, the beginning of your new world, begins with a word. And that word must be spoken inwardly and unceasingly until it becomes the law of your being, until it no longer feels like something you're saying, but something you underscore or underscore. 48 hours is a baptism into beliefs. It is an anointing of attention. It is a period of sacred gestation in which you say, I will not break character. I will not allow appearances to sway me. I will not let doubt re-enter the temple. I will underscore become underscore the one for whom the phrase, isn't it wonderful, is not affirmation, but description. And I promise you this, if you persist, if you truly remain in the state of the wish fulfilled for 2 full days, something within you'll crack, a veil will lift, a shift will occur so silently, so completely, that the old state will seem like a dream long forgotten. And from that moment forward, your world will begin to move, perhaps subtly, perhaps dramatically, but it will move because it must. For the subconscious has been impressed. The law has been set in motion. Do not underestimate the power of concentrated attention. Do not belittle the miracle of sustained assumption. For the God within you, your own wonderful human imagination, does not sleep, but it does wait. It waits for your command. And when it receives the command repeated with authority over 48 hours, it begins to reorganize every atom of your experience in accordance with that command. This is the spiritual science of creation. This is not about chanting endlessly, but about dwelling faithfully It is about drinking the phrase with such reverence, such hunger, such joy, that you lose all memory of what it was like to live in separation from a desire. Do not think of 48 hours as a countdown, but as a consecration, a holy interval, a time set apart to dwell in the consciousness of answered prayer, a time to walk with the phrase as if it were a lamp unto your feet, lighting your every step with the radiance of fulfillment. Let others wait years for change. Let others say, it takes time, but you, my dear, know better. You know that the only time that matters is the now. And when you fill the now with the vibration of your fulfilled desire and sustain it for 48 hours, you collapse the distance between idea and form. So I ask you, can you be faithful for 2 days? Can you speak the phrase with emotion, with reverence, with joy? Can you make these 48 hours the holiest hours of your life? Because if you can, if you will, then prepare. For what begins as a whisper within you will soon become the voice of reality, resounding all around you. You'll not need to push. You'll not need to prove. You will simply see the world unfold as though it had always known what you now claim. And all because for 48 sacred hours, you refused to speak from lack. You chose the voice of heaven. You chose wonder. You chose the phrase. And the phrase chose you. Now, beloved soul, let us turn inward and fashion the phrase that shall become the sacred root of your transformation. For though I have offered you one of immense power, isn't it wonderful? You may feel called to shape a phrase that speaks more intimately to the holy hunger within you. This is no ordinary task. This is the crafting of the key to the kingdom of your fulfilled desire. And like every divine key, it must fit perfectly into the door of your own consciousness. The phrase you choose must not be distant. It must not belong to someone else. But say it once with deep conviction. Say it once while feeling the reality of an and the entire structure of the world begins to shift in response. It is not effort that creates, it is emotional alignment. That is why you must feel from the end Not feel hopeful, not feel uncertain, but feel as though it were already so If your phrase is, I am prosperous, you must feel the weight of wealth in your hands. You must hear the rhythm of abundance in your day. You must breathe as one whose needs are already met, whose heart is already full. The phrase must bring a soft smile to your lips, a lightness to your body, a quiet knowing in your soul. And this feeling, it may come in many forms. For some, it will be enthusiasm the fiery surge of realization. It is happening now. For others, it will be peace the holy exhale that says, it is done. I can rest. For some, it will be confidence the calm certainty of one who no longer searches. Whatever form it takes, you will know when you are feeling the truth of your phrase. It will feel like home. It will feel like a memory returning, not a fantasy invented. That is the sign. That is the doorway. And I say to you now, when you find that feeling, dwell there let the phrase and the feeling become one. Let them move together through your day, companions of the highest order. And should you falter, should you drift into the cold winds of doubt, do not despair. Simply return. Return to the phrase. Return to the feeling. Return to your center. For you're not punished for forgetting. You are always invited to remember. Let us take an example. Suppose your phrase is, I am healthy and vibrant. Now, do not speak these words like a machine. Do not murmur them as though they are foreign to you. Instead, speak them as though your body already radiates with energy, as though your cells themselves are humming with life. See yourself walking with ease, laughing without pain, embracing the world with strength. And then, feel the joy of that vitality. Feel the pleasure of it. Feel the freedom. Or if your phrase is, I am finally free, Do not say it with a heart still in chains. Say it as one who has walked out of the prison of fear into the open field of possibility. Feel the wind on your face. Feel the lightness of having no weight upon your shoulders. That feeling, that sacred emotional imprint, is what creates the condition. This is not pretending. This is underscore knowing underscore before it is seen. This is the divine act of living from the unseen, of standing on the mountain while others still search for the path. Your phrase is not a tool of persuasion. It is a vessel of transformation, but can only carry you where you want to go if it is filled with the water of feeling. And that water must not be shallow. It must run deep. When you say, "Isn't it wonderful?" What do you feel? If nothing moves, then stop. Close your eyes. Imagine a scene so rich with fulfillment that your breath changes, your chest softens, your eyes grow moist with the sweetness of it. Then speak the phrase. Now is alive. Now is clothed in truth. Now it can work its holy work. This is the sacred art, to speak not from absence, but from underscore fullness underscore. To feel not for outcome, but for being. To repeat your phrase, not to reach a goal, but because it is already true. That is the subtle shift. That is the mystery. And so, I say again, feeling is the secret. Words are the chisel, but feeling is the sculptor. Words are the canvas, but feeling is the paint. Words open the gate, but underscore feeling walks through underscore. So when you speak your phrase, today, tonight, for these sacred 48 hours, speak it with the weight of truth. Let it ring in your being like a bell in a cathedral. Let it vibrate through your bones. Let underscore feel underscore like home. And if it does, then know the work is done. Not seen yet? No matter. The seed is planted, and in the unseen depths of self, your harvest is already blooming. And now, the holy journey begins. You have chosen your phrase. You have touched it with feeling. You have breathed life into it. And as the sun rises on this first of 2 sacred days, you are no longer who you were. You are the sower of a new reality. You are the gardener of a new world. And this, the first 24 hours, is the planting. Do not underestimate the power of this day. Though nothing may yet appear to have changed, everything is shifting beneath the surface. You are impressing a new pattern upon the soil of consciousness. And like every sacred seed, it begins in silence, in darkness, in invisibility. You may feel strange at first. That is natural. Your mind, long trained in the language of what underscore is underscore, will begin to raise its voice. It will whisper, "Is this real?" It will ask, "Am I pretending?" It will protest, "This feels unfamiliar." And I tell you, bless that resistance. Bless it and move through it. For it is not the enemy. It is the voice of the old state taking its final breath. You see, the first 24 hours are not meant to be a performance. They are not about perfection. They are about underscore introduction underscore. The introduction of a new state, a new voice, a new identity into the temple of your awareness. You are inviting the fulfilled self to take the throne. And the former occupant, the self of doubt, of lack, of waiting, will not leave without a murmur. But hear me well, it is not your task to argue with the old voice. Do not wrestle with it. Simply underscore outlast and underscore. How? By holding fast your phrase. When you wake in the morning, before you reach for the day, reach for the feeling. Before you touch the world, touch the phrase. Let be your first breath. I am fulfilled now. Isn't it wonderful? Everything works in my favor. Whatever your phrase, speak it from the end. And do not wait for it to feel perfect. Let it feel possible and allow that possibility to grow. You must feed it, water it, protect it from the winds of distraction and the pests of doubt. Throughout your day, return to it often. Let it become your anchor, your rhythm, your sacred pulse. Set reminders if you must. Place symbols around you. But above all, remember, this first day is holy ground. Every repetition is a step deeper into the state. Every whisper of your phrase is a thread strengthening the new pattern. Every time you speak from your fulfilled identity, you are declaring to the subconscious, Underscore this is who I am now underscore. Do not worry if you feel a flicker of resistance. That is the soil being broken open. That is the old root loosening its grip. You are not failing. You are being underscore reborn underscore. And when doubt arises, and it will, do not fear it. Simply say, even this is part of the unfolding. Then return to your phrase. Let wash over the doubt like light over shadow. You're not asking for proofs. You are underscore becoming the proof underscore. Now let me tell you something profound. The first time you speak your phrase with true conviction, you plant the seed. But it is in the repetition, with feeling, that you water it. The first 24 hours are the rainfall, the sunburst, the warming of the soil. Do not demand the fruit before the root is formed. Do not look for signs. Look within. Your task is not to monitor the world. Your task is to underscore, maintain the tone underscore. And if you do, if you remain faithful in these first 24 hours, something begins to shift. Perhaps subtly, perhaps as a stillness in the chest, a new softness in your thoughts, a whisper of certainty beneath the noise. That is the beginning, and as the day draws to a close, you will reach one of the most potent moments of the entire process, the moment before sleep. Guard this moment well, for as you descend into slumber, your subconscious becomes most open, most fertile. What you say to yourself now will echo through the halls of the night. So as your head rests upon the pillow, as your breath begins to slow, return to your phrase. Not as repetition now, but as lullaby. Let cradle you. Let underscore become you underscore. If you have chosen, I am whole, then breathe it with peace. If your phrase is, I'm already successful, then feel the contentment of that success resting in your bones. Do not analyze it. Underscore, feel it as true. Underscore, and as you drift into the sacred river of sleep, the phrase will continue. It will live and breathe in your dreamless depths. It will impress itself upon the great subconscious sea, and when you rise tomorrow, the soil will be different. For tonight, you planted a world. So carry this with you. The first day is not about seeing results. It is about becoming someone new. It is the day the sculptor lifts the chisel, the day the painter touches canvas, the day God says again, let there be light, and their underscore is underscore. So speak your phrase, feel it deeply, return to it often, fall asleep with it as your final word, and know that something holy has begun. And now you enter the second day, the second holy rotation of the sun around the citadel of your becoming. The second 24 hours, not of mere repetition, but of underscore solidification underscore. The phrase has been planted. Now it must be underscore sealed underscore. The first day broke the ground. The second anchors the seed. If you have been faithful, something wondrous begins to occur. Your chosen phrase no longer feels like a stranger. It begins to fit you. It begins to breathe with you. It no longer sits on your tongue like borrowed words. It rises within you like an inner knowing. This, my dear, is the first sign that the subconscious has begun to accept your assumption. And yet, this is also the hour of temptation. For it is in the second day that life may rise to test you. Circumstances, still echoing the old pattern, may seem to contradict what you have spoken into being. An unexpected expense, a silence where you expected a call, a moment of fatigue in your body when your phrase is one of health. And here, most falter. Here, many turn back. But I say to you, underscore, this is not failure underscore. This is confirmation. You're not being punished. You are being underscore purified underscore. The outer world, which always lags behind the inner, is merely catching up to the new decree. And it must test the roots of your beliefs, not to break them, but to strengthen them. These apparent contradictions are not the storm. They're the wind that deepens the roots of your conviction. So what must you do? You must remain unmoved. You must underscore persist in the feeling of the wish fulfilled underscore. When the old world presents itself, do not react as the old man. Do not speak from the state you have buried. Respond as the one you have become. If your phrase is, I am chosen, then when rejection appears, you say inwardly, How wonderful it is to be so deeply wanted. If your phrase is, I am abundant, and you receive a bill, you smile and say, money flows freely to me now. You're not pretending. You're choosing underscore. This second day is the day of resurrection. It is when the new man begins to stand, even as the echoes of the tomb still linger. The stone has already been rolled away, but the scent of death may still hang in the air. Pay no mind. Walk boldly. For if the first day is the underscore seed underscore, the second is the underscore root underscore, the impression begins to crystallize. The phrase no longer feels like something you're trying to believe. It begins to feel like something that has always been true. You begin to forget the struggle. You begin to act, speak, breathe in the tone of fulfillment. You respond to life, not from reaction, but from underscore identity underscore. You may find yourself smiling for no reason. You may feel strange calm in the midst of situations that once provoked anxiety. You may notice that your body feels lighter, your speech more certain, your imagination more vivid. These are not coincidences. They are signs. They are the gentle movements of the inner world shifting into alignment with your assumption. Do not interrupt the process by seeking signs. Do not test the soil every few hours to see if the seed has sprouted. Your work is not to force change. Your work is to underscore hold state underscore. Speak the phrase again and again and again, not with tension, but with reverence, with sweetness, with the joy of knowing that each repetition is a thread and the tapestry is nearly complete. And should you feel weary, remember, this is the final stretch. This is the hour before dawn, when the night is most tempting, but the light is already stirring just beyond the veil. Now is the time to double your devotion. Keep the phrase alive in the heart, on the breath, in the silent spaces between actions. Let it echo through your thoughts as you walk, as you eat, as you listen, as you rest. And most of all, return to it as you prepare for sleep. The phrase, spoken in this second night, is the golden seal. It tells the subconscious, this is who I am now. This is what is real. This is what I underscore known of. You're no longer speaking to become. You are speaking because you underscore or underscore. And the world, your world, will begin to yield. Not because you forced it, but because you remained true when the old pattern tried to rise. This is the narrow gate through which all new realities are born. The place where you feel it as real underscore in spite of underscore appearances. And when you pass through that gate, when you bless even the contradiction, when you smile on the face of delay and say, I already have it, then heaven moves. And the Lord responds. The phrase becomes your dwelling place. The state becomes your sanctuary. And your future becomes your now. So I say again, with all the love I can breathe into these words, remain faithful, remain still, remain in the state, and the seed, now rooted, shall bear fruit. And now, as you remain in the stillness of your assumption, something begins to stir. Perhaps quietly, perhaps suddenly, but it begins. Like the rustling of leaves before a summer storm, like the whisper of wind across water before the tide turns. The world around you starts to reflect the shift that has taken place underscore within underscore. You may not notice a great trumpet. There may be no lightning bolt from the heavens. But if you are attentive, if you are still, you will see it. Small signs, gentle manifestations, sacred echoes of the state you have chosen. A stranger greets you with unusual warmth. A message arrives that feels strangely timed. You catch yourself laughing with more ease, standing taller, speaking with a confidence that surprises even you. These are not accidents. These are not coincidences. These are the first fruits, the tender shoots of a harvest, not yet visible to others, but already alive in you. The world, you see, has begun to underscore rearrange itself underscore. Not dramatically yet, but faithfully, lovingly, precisely. And often it is not the circumstance that shifts first, but the underscore feeling underscore. Suddenly, you are no longer waiting, you are expecting. You are no longer wondering, you are knowing. You are no longer pleading, you are underscore receiving underscore. You may feel an odd clarity come over you, as though the fog that clung to your mind has dissolved. You may begin to sense solutions to problems you once agonized over. You may feel a subtle warmth in the body, a deep calm that was not there before. This too is manifestation. This too is a sign. The outer world is beginning to echo the decree of your inner speech. But let me caution you, these signs are not to be chased. Do not lean out of your state to look for proofs. Do not dig up the seed to see if it has sprouted. The moment you demand a sign, you reveal your doubt. But the moment you notice a sign with gratitude, you confirm your faith. A compliment from a colleague, an unexpected invitation, a slight shift in how someone speaks to you, as if they too have begun to perceive your new identity. These are the mirrors adjusting. Do not worship them. Do not rely upon them. Acknowledge them as sweet reflections, nothing more, nothing less. They are not the fulfillment, but they underscore it. They're not the mountain, but the scent of the mountain on the wind. Do you see? You're no longer seeking. You are remembering. The signs appear not to convince you, but to underscore you. Yes, you are on the path. Yes, the state is taking root. Yes, the word has been heard. And above all, feel the rising joy. Let that be your greatest sign. For joy that emerges without visible reason is the mark of one who has stepped into the new world before it appears . That joy is the signature of creation. You will walk into a room and feel a shift in atmosphere. You will pass by a mirror and feel a softness in your eyes. You will begin to speak less of what you lack and more of what is . You will feel that something unseen walks with you, moves with you, speaks through you. That presence is your assumption. It has become your companion. So observe, not with desperation, but with reverence. Watch how life responds to your inner tone. Watch how doors ease open, how burdens seem lighter, how strangers seem kinder. And when you see it, when you feel it, smile, not as one surprised, but as one affirmed. Yes, this is how the promise begins to flower. Yes, this is how the invisible makes itself known. The second you said I am, the current was set, and now the river flows. And though it begins as a trickle, it cannot be stopped. So when the signs appear, welcome them. When the small manifestations rise, honor them. And when you feel peace descend like a dove, rest in it. For this is not chance. This is not chaos. This is the law unfolding itself through you. You must now see with clarity, beloved, this phrase you've been speaking, nurturing, and feeling is not a trick, is not a charm, is the very embodiment of the law of assumption in its most sacred, most distilled form. For every time you repeat your phrase with feeling, you're assuming the state . An assumption is creation. The law of assumption is not merely an idea to entertain. It is the foundation of all manifestation. It is the first movement of the soul, the divine act of becoming inwardly that which you desire to see outwardly . It does not ask for permission. It does not wait for conditions. It moves now. It speaks now. It accepts now. So when you say, I am loved, or isn't it wonderful, or everything is working for me, you are not trying to make something happen. You are assuming that an is already happened . You are standing in the final scene. You are dressing yourself in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You are, as the ancient mystics proclaimed, calling those things which be not as though they were. And in that sacred call, they become . Assumption is not hope. It is not wishful thinking. It is identification. It is the conscious choice to dwell in the consciousness of already being . And the phrase you carry, repeated faithfully, felt deeply, spoken with conviction, is the chariot that carries you into that state. Your phrase is not separate from the law. It is the law in motion. It is your inner word made flesh. When you speak it, you are reconditioning the subconscious mind, which accepts whatever you consistently feel is true. And once the subconscious is impressed, reality must comply. It does not hesitate. It does not delay. It follows the blueprint you have accepted within. Understand this. Consciousness is the only reality. Not circumstance, not opinion, not probability, But consciousness, your inner state of being, everything you experience flows from it. And so, to change the world, you must change your state, not superficially, not temporarily, but radically and wholeheartedly. The moment you persist in a new state, the law of assumption goes to work. Your world may not shift in an instant, but it must underscore shift, because the outer world is your reflection. It has no life of its own. It moves as you move within, is the obedient mirror of your inner conversation. And the phrase is your sacred anchor. It holds you steady in the desired state. It keeps you from drifting back into the old pattern. It reminds the subconscious again and again. Underscore, this is who I am now, underscore. Let us take an example. Suppose you desire freedom from anxiety. You choose the phrase, I am calm and carried by peace. Now, when you repeat this with feeling, not as a mantra, but as an underscore identity underscore, you begin to assume the state of peace. And from that state, your thoughts change. Your body changes. Your choices change. Your reality underscore must underscore change. It is not magic, it is law. And so, the repetition of the phrase is not effort. It is underscore alignment underscore. You're not asking reality to bend to you. You're stepping into the state from which reality has underscore already been underscore. That is the essence of the law of assumption, underscore being before becoming visible underscore. So I say to you, do not wait. Assuming, do not watch your outer world like a beggar at the window. Speak as one who already lives inside the house of fulfillment. This is the great shift from seeking to being, from hoping to knowing, from future to underscore now underscore. And your phrase, chosen with care and repeated with love, is the rope that pulls you across the threshold. You may ask, but how do I know when I've assumed the state? You'll know. You'll feel it. It will feel like underscore home underscore. You will speak your phrase and no longer ask if it is working, because it will no longer feel like something you try to believe. It will feel like something you've underscore always known underscore. That is assumption. It is not something you do. It is something you underscore become underscore. So let your phrase guide you. Let it be your bridge of transformation. Let it remind you again and again that nothing stands between you and the life you desire but the assumption of its presence. And once assumed, it must appear. It is the law. And you, beloved, are the one who operates it. Gratitude, my beloved, is the golden oil that anoints your phrase and causes it to shine with the radiance of fulfilled desire. It is not an afterthought. It is not a result. It is the underscore evidence underscore, the sure sign that you have already entered the state. For no one gives thanks for what they lack. Gratitude is the voice of possession. It is the sacred music of one who underscore knows underscore. When you say, thank you, with sincerity, not for what might come, but for what underscore already is underscore, you are sealing your assumption with divine certainty. Gratitude is not passive. It is not polite courtesy. It is the sound of creation completed. Let's say your phrase is, I am now living in abundance. That is beautiful, but let it deepen, let blossom, let it become, thank you for the abundance that now fills my life. And feel the shift, feel how the tone changes. It is no longer declaration alone. It is underscore celebration underscore. It is no longer a statement of intention. It is a recognition of truth. Gratitude intensifies your vibration. It lifts your emotional state in a harmony with your desire. It is the fragrance of faith, the warmth of alignment, and the law, being impersonal, being precise, responds not to words, but to underscore frequency underscore. When your frequency is gratitude, you are already aligned with the result. Do you see? Thanking before receiving underscore is underscore the act of receiving. Thanking before seeing underscore is underscore the evidence of sight. Gratitude does not wait. It underscore declares underscore. It says, this is mine. This has been granted. I am not in pursuit. I am in possession. This is why I urge you to weave gratitude into your phrase. Let it become the breath of your assumption. Thank you for my radiant health. Thank you for the love that now surrounds me. Thank you for this perfect solution. And feel it, not with strain, but with joy, with the ease of one who has sat down to a feast already prepared. In the scriptures, you will find this pattern again and again. When Jesus stood before the tomb of Lazarus, he did not beg, he did not doubt. He said, underscore, Father, I thank thee that thou hast heard me. Underscore, he gave thanks underscore before underscore the stone was rolled away. Before the miracle was seen, it was acknowledged. That is the secret. That is the formula. You too must do the same. Give thanks as though the prayer were already answered, because it underscore is underscore. In the unseen, it has been fulfilled the moment you felt it is real. And gratitude is the spiritual acknowledgement of that fulfillment. It is the proof of your faith, the signature of your soul, saying, it is done. Let your repetition be soaked in thanksgiving. Let your morning begin with gratitude. Let your inner speech be laced with appreciation. For every time you say thank you with sincerity, you are returning to the state. You are affirming your identity as one who has received. And more than this, gratitude transforms underscore you underscore. It opens your heart. It softens your fears. It quiets your doubting mind. It places you in harmony with divine intelligence, which forever gives, forever flows, forever responds to the one who underscore accepts underscore. Do not say thank you to some force outside yourselves. Say it inwardly to the God in you. Say from the fulfilled self to the one who imagined and became you. And as you speak it, feel the warmth. Let it rise like incense. Let it sweeten your breath, your thoughts, your actions. Let your phrase become a holy offering. Even now, you could try it. Whisper softly to yourself, thank you for this answered prayer. Thank you for my perfect unfolding. Thank you for the peace that wraps me now. And feel it. Can you feel the shift? That is the heart opening. That is the veil parting. That is the soul remembering its own power. You see, when you add gratitude to your phrase, it is no longer a tool. It becomes underscore worship underscore. Not the worship of a distant God, but the worship of the divine as underscore you underscore, creating, receiving, and rejoicing. Gratitude is not merely the evidence of your assumption, is the underscore fulfillment underscore of it. So give thanks now, not when the world shows it, but when your heart knows it. That is the law, that is the secret, and the one who gives thanks underscore before underscore has already received. Let us now bring the eternal into the temporal. Let us make sacred the rhythm of your hours, and allow your chosen phrase to become not just an idea, but a underscore living ritual underscore. For 48 hours, you are being asked to dwell not in theory, but in embodiment, not to discuss the promise, but to wear it, and to wear it. You must underscore repeat it with rhythm, with reverence, with resolve underscore. This is no burden. This is devotion. And so I will give you a simple practice, the sacred pattern through which your phrase may take root, deepen, and flourish in a form. When you rise from your bed, before you greet the world, before you reach for your devices or return to yesterday's thoughts, asterisk, asterisk, greet your new self, asterisk, asterisk. This is your first breath of identity. Sit for a moment, or remain in bed with eyes gently closed, and speak your phrase 5 times, slowly, lovingly, as if your soul were whispering it back to you. Let be the first voice you hear. Thank you for my abundance now. Isn't it wonderful? I'm so deeply loved. Not shouted, not rushed. Underscore felt. Underscore feel the words nestling into your body. Let your chest expand with the truth of them. Let the feeling of already having watched through you like morning light. This is the planting. Then, throughout the day, let your phrase become the pulse beneath all things. Set sacred reminders, not to interrupt your life, but to underscore, infuse, underscore it. Use the world itself as your ally. Each time you check the time, let it be your cue. Say the phrase once. When you pause at a red light, repeat it silently. When you drink water, say it again. If you desire, you may set a gentle chime on your phone. Every hour, every 2 hours, let ring not as an alarm, but as a underscore bell of remembrance underscore. And when it rings, return to the phrase. Not mechanically, but underscore mindfully underscore. Close your eyes, even if just for 3 seconds, and breathe the feeling into your center. This is not effort. This is underscore repetition with presence underscore. And you will find by midday, by evening, that the phrase has begun to speak itself. It will rise without your command. It will echo softly as you walk, as you speak, as you rest. This is the subconscious responding. It has begun to believe. It has begun to create. And now we come to the most sacred portal of the day, the doorway of sleep. Oh, how holy is this moment. Do not enter it carelessly. Do not let the final thoughts of your day be complaints or confusion. Underscore sanctify the passage. Underscore lie down. Close your eyes. And as your body relaxes, as your breath slows, return to your phrase. Say it silently, again and again, letting it blend with your exhale. No need to force the mind. Let drift. Let wander, but always gently return. Like a mother drawing her child back to the breast, return to the phrase. I'm already living my dream. Thank you for the life I love. I feel completely safe now. And soon, you will cross the threshold into sleep, but your phrase will continue. It will whisper in the deep places of mind where creation takes its form. And when you wake again, you will be waking not as who you were, but as who you have chosen to be. If doubt arises, if fatigue speaks, do not wrestle. Underscore return, underscore. Return again. Each repetition is a stroke upon the canvas. Each moment of feeling is another brick in the temple. This is not about perfection. It is about persistence with presence. So for these 48 hours, let your life become your altar. Let your phrase be your offering. Let your awareness be the priest, tending the flame. In the morning, speak with gratitude. In the day, remember with faith. At night, surrender with joy. And in every moment in between, let your phrase walk beside you, quiet, steady your lives. And know this, if you are faithful to this practice, not with tension, but with devotion, then you will emerge not only with a new outer result, but with a transformed inner identity. You will no longer be one who speaks the phrase. You will be the one who underscore, lives in underscore. There will come a moment, perhaps softly, perhaps suddenly, when the old voice returns. The voice of resistance, the voice of skepticism, the voice that says, underscore, this isn't working. Underscore, you're only pretending. Underscore, be realistic. Underscore, and I tell you now, with all gentleness and clarity, this is not failure. This is initiation. Asterisk, for whenever a new state of consciousness is assumed, the old must protest. The former master of your house, the voice of lack, fear, limitation, will not relinquish its throne without a final cry. You have lived in its halls for years, perhaps decades, and now you have spoken a new word. You have claimed a new name, and the echo of who you once believed yourself to be will rise up to challenge what you now choose to become. Do not panic. Do not make the mistake of believing that doubt is defeat. It is not. It is merely the last wind before the breakthrough. The conscious mind, conditioned to worship facts, will resist the unseen. It will argue. Underscore, there is no evidence. Underscore, you don't feel different. Underscore, you're lying to yourself. Underscore, but understand this. The conscious mind is not the creator. It is the gatekeeper. And your task is not to convince the gatekeeper. It is to train it to underscore, step aside, underscore. So what do you do when resistance arises? You underscore, return, underscore. You return to the phrase. You return to the feeling. You return, not with violence, not with shame, but with compassion. You say, here's the old voice. I see you, but I no longer obey you. And you underscore, choose again, underscore. You speak the phrase not to drown out the doubt, but to reestablish the underscore state, underscore. You do not argue with the resistance. You underscore, override it, underscore. The doubt says, you're still alone. You say, thank you for the love I now live in. The fear says, you'll always struggle. You say, Isn't it wonderful how life supports me so easily now? This is not denial. This is underscore spiritual authorship underscore. You are not erasing the page. You are writing a new chapter. And each time you choose your phrase over the doubt, each time you feel your truth over the fear, you deepen the groove of the new state. You strengthen the roots. You prove to the subconscious, underscore this is who I am now, underscore understand. The subconscious does not care what is true. It cares only what is underscore repeated with feeling underscore. And resistance is merely the echo of your past repetitions. But now, you're repeating something else. Something higher. Something holy. You're not fighting against the old self. You are underscore dying to underscore. And in its place rises a new identity, quietly, faithfully, steadily. If the resistance feels loud, let be loud. But do not answer it. Answer only your vision. Speak your phrase again, even if your voice trembles, even if your heart doubts, even if the world contradicts it. Say it anyway, feel it anyway, return anyway, because every return is a triumph. Every return is a declaration. Every return is another breath in the lungs of your new life. Let your phrase become your ark in the storm. Let it carry you through the waves of fear into the still waters of your becoming, and the storm will pass. It always does. And when it does, you will find that your state has grown stronger, your phrase more natural, your assumption more stable. You will no longer be trying to believe. You will simply be underscore living as if it were already so. Underscore in that, my dear, is faith, not belief in the absence of doubt, but belief underscore in spite underscore of it. Not the absence of storms, but the refusal to abandon your course. So when the resistance comes, and it will welcome it as the sign of transformation underway. Smile at, thank it for showing you just how far you've come. And then, underscore speak your phrase again, underscore and again, until the voice of resistance grows quiet, until your inner world is no longer shaken, until you look in the mirror, and without effort, you see the new self looking back. It was always you, and now it is known. There will be moments, even in your greatest devotion, when a shadow thought slips in, quiet, subtle, sometimes so familiar you almost miss it. A fear, a complaint, a doubt, a whisper that says underscore, what if it doesn't happen? Underscore, nothing ever works for me. Underscore, these are not failures. They are underscore invitations, underscore. Invitations to return, to realign, to reclaim the power of conscious creation. You must understand this. The power lies not in never thinking and negative thought. That is not mastery, that is delusion. True mastery is found in the instant correction, the holy underscore revision underscore of the moment. Is the sacred discipline of stopping mid-thought and choosing again. And so, when the unwanted arises, underscore pause underscore, catch it, become still. Do not scold yourself. Do not spiral into guilt. Simply recognize, this thought does not belong to the state I have chosen. And in that recognition, you have already begun to transform it. Then, in that very breath, you underscore revise underscore. You replace the thought, not with effort, but with elegance. You reach for your chosen phrase, the one you have planted and watered and now live by. You speak it silently. You feel it sincerely. The thought says, I'm so unlucky. You stop and reply, thank you for how everything now unfolds in my favor. The mind mutters, they never choose me. You replace it with, I am so joyfully chosen now, and I feel it. Fear tries to project, what if I lose it all again? You anchor yourself and say, isn't it wonderful how secure and blessed I am? This is the practice. This is the reconditioning of mind. Every time you revise a contrary thought in the moment it arises, you reclaim your dominion. You remind the subconscious, underscore, this is the new law, underscore. The old self may speak, but it no longer governs. The old emotion may rise, but it no longer reigns. And with each instant revision, the gap between fear and faith grows smaller. The recovery becomes faster. The shift becomes smoother. Eventually, the mind itself learns, Underscore, these thoughts are no longer welcome here. Underscore. The garden of your awareness becomes less and less hospitable to weeds, and the fruit of your assumption grows undisturbed. This is not suppression. This is not pretending. This is creative substitution. You're not denying that the thought arose. You are choosing underscore not to accept it as truth underscore. You are choosing to imagine the opposite. You are choosing to speak from the fulfilled state. And in that choice, you rewrite the script. You change the narrative. Is it a new course? Imagine now your phrase as a sword of light. Every time a dark thought rises, you do not battle it. You dissolve it with the light of a chosen word. And the more you do it, the faster the response becomes. At first, it may take minutes, then seconds, then the thought barely finishes forming before your spirit says, "No, I know who I am." And you return to the phrase, you return to the feeling, you return to the state, and soon, contrary thoughts no longer disturb you. They pass like clouds across the sun. You notice them, and then they are gone. This is the fruit of persistence. This is the reward of awareness. This is the law of substitution put into daily practice. So carry your phrase close. Let be ready. Let rise the moment a lesser thought tries to steal your peace. Let become your immediate response. You are not at the mercy of your mind. You're the one who chooses what lives there. And the more often you revise in a moment, the more deeply your assumption is carved into the subconscious. The more effortlessly the old patterns dissolve. The more powerfully your outer world reflects your inner command. So when the next contrary thought arises, do not flinch. Smile, recognize it, and then gently, firmly speak your phrase. Let the new truth override the old. Let the word be made flesh again and again and again. There will come a moment, quiet, almost unannounced, when something within you will stir. A gentle impulse, a quiet knowing, a desire to take a step, to reach out, to go somewhere, to speak something, to act. And when it comes, you must understand, this is not the voice of effort. This is not the mind trying to make something happen. This is inspired action, the natural fruit of your internal assumption. You have repeated the phrase. You have felt it. You have worn it. And now it begins to underscore, move through you underscore. You see, the one who truly believes they are already the person they desire to be does not sit frozen, nor do they act with panic. They underscore, flow underscore. Their actions are not strained. They're seamless. Their choices are not forced. They're underscore felt underscore. These are not attempts to make the external bend to the will, but effortless extensions of a underscore state already claimed underscore. Do not confuse this with striving. Do not confuse this with rushing into the world, try to manipulate outcomes. That is not what I speak of. The moment you begin to act from lack, from fear, from urgency, you have stepped out of the state. But when the action arises from peace, from trust, from a deep inner calm, then know this. You are being moved by the assumption itself. Let us be clear. The law does not require action in the beginning. It requires underscore alignment underscore. The first cause is always the imaginal act. But once the state is fully assumed, the body, the voice, the gesture, all of it follows in harmony. There is no strain, only unfolding. Suppose your phrase is, "I am now successful in my purpose." You've repeated it, you've felt it, you've lived it in consciousness. Then, suddenly one afternoon, you feel a nudge to send that message, to make that call, to begin that project. Is not loud, is not logical even, but it is underscore clear underscore. Follow it. That is the action born of being. That is the impulse of the fulfilled state. It is not that you underscore must underscore act to make it happen. It is that in the knowing that it is done, you are moved in ways that express and embody what is already true within you. Do not fear action, but do not worship it either. You are not saved by doing. You are revealed by underscore, being underscore. And being, when full, when confident, when joyous, will underscore move underscore. Naturally, beautifully, effortlessly. You're not pushing a boulder uphill. You are allowing the river to carry you. If your state is abundance, you may feel inspired to share something, to give freely, to invest. That is not irrational. That is resonance. If your state is love, you may feel called to open your heart, to write a message, to smile a stranger. Not because you try to get love, but because you underscore it. If your state is health, you may be drawn to walk, to breathe deeper, to eat differently, not from discipline, but from the natural impulse of one who is already well. This is the difference between forced effort and inspired action. The former drains you, the latter delights you. So as you continue to dwell in your phrase, remain open, receptive. If no action arises, rest. Your work is internal, and that is enough. If action does come, let it flow. Let it unfold without hesitation, without overthinking, without seeking approval. It is not you acting to change the world. It is the world responding to the change in you. You are now in motion, not as the doer, but as the underscore expression underscore of what you have become. And in that movement, your assumption becomes visible, not because you chased it, but because you underscore embodied it underscore. So walk forward if moved. Speak if moved. Create if moved. And know that every step is sacred. Every impulse is holy when it rises from the ground of assumption. This is not action for action's sake. This is the dance of fulfilled desire. Let me now draw back the curtain for a moment, so you may see what has already been done through this most simple and sacred practice. For many believe, even after the phrase has been chosen, even after the feeling has been felt, even after the hours have passed in faith, they still ask, underscore, but does it truly work? Does this small act of inner repetition truly reshape my world? Underscore, and I tell you now, not from theory, but from the living tapestry of lives transformed. Yes, it works. It always works. Asterisk, asterisk, not because it is a secret, not because it is rare, but because it is law. And those who dare to test it, even in silence, even in doubt, become the living proofs. I recall a woman who once sat before me, weary from years of emotional abandonment. She had said to herself for so long, underscore, I am invisible, I am forgotten, I am not chosen. Underscore, her heart was threadbare. But something in her shifted when she heard this teaching. She chose a phrase that felt foreign at first, like a robe too grand for her shoulders. I am deeply loved and wanted. That was her phrase. Simple, present, complete. For 48 hours, she repeated it, with trembling voice at first, then with slow confidence, then by the second evening, with tears, not of pain, but of recognition. Within 3 days, the man she had longed to hear from, who had grown cold and distant, sent a message, underscore, I don't know why, but I can't stop thinking of you, underscore, and she smiled. Not because he returned, but because she already underscore had underscore. Another soul, a man crushed by financial fear, chose to whisper this. Thank you for the flow of abundance that surrounds me now. If for 2 days he said it every hour, he set reminders. He wrote on a napkin and kept it in his pocket. He breathed it before sleep. Nothing changed. And then, on the morning of the third day, he received a message from an old colleague. Underscore, I've been meaning to reach out. There's a project I think you'd be perfect for. Underscore, he had not forced anything. He had only aligned. A young artist, paralyzed by fear of rejection, once chose this phrase. My gifts are seen and celebrated. She said it while painting, said it while walking, said it while doubting. And then, on the final night, she posted her work online. No agenda, just obedience to an inner pull. Within hours, it was shared by a prominent gallery, and her path unfolded. And let me tell you, not all transformations come as thunderclaps. Some arrive as whispers, a shift in mood, a spontaneous burst of laughter after years of silence. A peaceful morning where once there was only dread. A small gift left on a desk. A call that comes randomly. These are not random. They are the ripples of consciousness, reaching the shore of the visible world. One man, tormented by chronic anxiety, chose the phrase, I am safe, and all is well now. He said it for 48 hours, in the midst of panic. He did not wait for the anxiety to stop. He underscore spoke from a peace he chose underscore. By the end of the second night, the anxiety was still there, but underscore, he was no longer afraid of it. Underscore, and in that shift, the body began to heal. The symptoms faded. His breath deepened. His life recentered. Is not always spectacular, but it is always underscore, sure underscore. A phrase, repeated with feeling, opens the door to the life that matches its tone. Again and again I have seen it. An unemployed woman who whispered, "I am valued and perfectly placed," and received 3 job offers in 1 week. A grieving parent who repeated, "Thank you for the light returning to my life," and who began to notice beauty again. Birdsong, sunlight, laughter. A man who had lost all faith in love, who repeated, "I am met with tenderness," and found not only a partner, but underscore himself underscore. The stories are endless. Because the law does not choose, it responds. It does not favor. It underscore reflects underscore. And when you speak your phrase, not as a plea, but as a truth already lived, the world must rise to meet it. So I say to you now, you will have your story. You are already writing it with every repetition. And one day, perhaps sooner than you expect, you will feel the shift, or see the sign, or experience the outcome. And you will smile, not in surprise, but in recognition, because it had already happened within. You'd already seen it. You had already underscore become an underscore. And now, the world simply obeyed. If the spoken phrase is the key, then imagination is the door through which you enter the world you have claimed. The phrase alone, repeated with feeling, is a sacred tool. But when it is underscore married to vision underscore, when the words you whisper within are clothed in images so vivid they shimmer behind your closed eyes, then the transformation accelerates. Then the law awakens in full power. For you're not only a speaker of truth, you are a underscore seer underscore. You are made in the image of God, and that image is imagination itself. To imagine is to create. To see inwardly is to command outwardly. And so, let's take this holy practice to its highest form. The union of underscore phrase, picture, and feeling underscore, spoken, seen, and felt as one. It is not enough to say, "I am abundant," and still underscore picture yourself lacking underscore. It is not enough to say, "I am loved," and inwardly replay scenes of abandonment. No, the phrase must be underscore supported by vision underscore. And the vision must underscore align with the state underscore. They must sing the same song. So when you speak your phrase, do not stop at the sound. See yourself already underscore in possession underscore the thing desired. And not from a distance, not as a movie observed, but from within. Underscore through your own eyes. Underscore let the scene unfold, not as wishful fantasy, but as present reality. If your phrase is "thank you for my prosperous life," then close your eyes and sit at the table where abundance lives. Hear the rustle of paper in your hands. Feel the weight of the wallet that no longer runs dry. See the smile on your face as you walk freely, buy freely, give freely. If your phrase is "I am loved beyond measure," then imagine a scene that would confirm this truth. A warm embrace. A familiar voice speaking your name with reverence. A look across the room that says, without words, underscore I see you. I choose you, underscore and feel it. Let your body soften in the presence of that love. The phrase will carry you into the vision, and the vision will deepen the phrase. This is the sacred loop. This is the great act of inner creation. And you must do it as if it were happening now. Not with strain, not with fantasy, with underscore faith underscore, with surrender. And do not be concerned with variety. You do not need hundreds of scenes. One single scene, replayed with feeling, linked to your phrase, alive with the tone of fulfillment, is more powerful than hours of scattered imagining. Let me short. Let me vivid. Let feel like a memory returning. Suppose your desire is freedom. Your phrase is, "I am finally free." Now underscore see underscore it. You are walking alone on a quiet street. The sky is open. Your shoulders are light. There's a breeze on your face and no fear in your chest. You are smiling, breathing. You feel safe, alive, underscore whole. underscore, and as you walk, you hear yourself think, not in fear, but in joy, I am finally free. This is the union. Phrase, image, feeling. Do not rush it. Rest in it. Your imagination is not a toy. It is the creative center of the universe flowing through you. It is the secret place of the Most High. And when you enter that sanctuary with reverence and speak your phrase as truth and see the fulfillment as now, you have stepped into the divine act of creation. It is done. The world has not yet seen it, but you have. And that is enough. So throughout your day, whenever you return to the phrase, let it bring the image. And when you visualize, let the phrase flow like breath. In through it all, let the feeling remain, the sacred signature of assumption fulfilled. And if ever the image feels dull, or the scene lacks warmth, do not force it. Simply return to the phrase. Let it carry you back to vision. Let the cycle restore itself. Phrase, picture, feeling, each feeding the other, each confirming the reality of what already underscore is underscore. You are not imagining to make it happen. You are imagining underscore because it already has underscore. You are not hoping. You are underscore remembering underscore. And your world will bend quietly, steadily, inevitably, because imagination, when aligned with the word and rooted in feeling, is the great lawgiver of your reality. Use it, trust it, and know what you see within, you underscore must underscore one day see without. If the path of assumption is divine, then let us walk it with the reverence it deserves. But let me speak now as one who loves you, as one who has seen many brave souls set forth with sincerity, only to stumble not from weakness, but from underscore misunderstanding underscore. For there are snares along this path, subtle and silent, that can undo your sacred work if you are not vigilant. The first, and perhaps most tragic of all, is the error of underscore abandonment underscore. How many begin with faith, only to turn away at the first shadow of resistance? How many utter their phrase with joy in the morning, only to discard it by nightfall when results do not appear on schedule? You must understand, asterisk, asterisk, the harvest never comes to the one who digs up the seed, asterisk, asterisk. The law responds to persistence, not impatience. Creation is not chaos. It is order, rhythm, unfolding. When you say, it's not working, you have stepped out of the state. You have withdrawn your claim, and the subconscious, ever obedient, simply ceases its work. Do not do this. Hold fast. The phrase is not a magic trick. It is a statement of identity, and identity takes time to settle into form. Stay faithful, stay still. Let the outer world catch up to the inner decree. The second error is repetition underscore without emotion underscore. Saying the words, but feeling nothing. Whispering the phrase, but drifting into numbness. Reciting out of habit, rather than underscore inhabiting underscore the state. This is not sacred repetition, it is noise. The subconscious does not respond to volume. It does not respond to effort. It responds to feeling. You must speak your phrase as one who believes, as one who underscore is underscore. It must carry the vibration of truth. Even a single whisper, underscore felt underscore, is more powerful than hours of mechanical mumbling. If the phrase grows stale, do not abandon it. Asterisk, asterisk, revive it, asterisk, asterisk. Bring it back to life. Pair it again with image, with breath, with gratitude. Say it slowly. Let it touch the heart. Let it melt into the body. This is not rote ritual. This is creative possession. You're not trying to memorize the phrase. You're becoming the phrase. And finally, the most subtle and dangerous error of all, the demand to underscore see before you believe underscore. This, above all, is the great reversal of the law. It is the voice of the old world, the flesh crying out, show me first, and I will trust. But the law does not answer that cry. The law says underscore believe first, and it shall be shown. Underscore you're not called to chase signs. You're not called to wait for permission. You are called to underscore assume underscore. Faith is not the absence of doubt. Faith is the refusal to give it power. Faith is the choice to stand in the unseen and say, underscore, it is done. Underscore, and when that stance is held, not for a minute, but as a dwelling place, then the world reshapes itself accordingly. So when the voice arises that says, where is it? Why hasn't it come? Recognize it. Do not obey it. Return to your phrase. Return to the feeling. Return to the end. Creation does not begin with sight. It begins with the word. And the word is spoken underscore from the end underscore, not toward it. You must see within before you see without. You must feel it true before you live it out. That is the law. So avoid these snares. Watch for them with love. Not with fear, but with clarity. Do not abandon the work. Do not let the phrase grow hollow. Do not demand signs before beliefs. Instead, ***, remain faithful to your assumption. ***, repeat your phrase with life, not logic. Feel what you say, and walk as though it were already so. And then, without effort, without strain, without struggle, the unseen will become seen. And you will know. It was never a matter of underscore, making underscore happen. It was always a matter of underscore, remaining underscore in the truth you chose. How shall you know that the phrase is working? How shall you recognize that your 48 hours have not passed in vain, but have become a sacred bridge between who you were and who you now underscore are underscore? Let me tell you, beloved, it is not always in thunder. It is not always in miracles that shake the earth. It is more often in the soft revolution within. You must not measure your progress by the external alone. That is the way of the old man, who looks only with his eyes and never with his spirit. No, if you would know that the law is unfolding in you, you must turn inward and listen, not for noise, but for underscore peace underscore. One of the first signs that the phrase has begun to take root is a shift in tone within you. There is a certain lightness, as if the burdens you've long carried have quietly slipped from your shoulders. You speak the phrase now with less effort. It feels closer, warmer, more underscore natural underscore. You find yourself resting in the words, not forcing them. They begin to rise of their own accord. Your mind, once crowded with worry, feels more open, not empty, but still. You may even feel a sense of joy without a cause. And that, more than anything, is your signal. When joy arrives underscore before underscore the manifestation, it means the inner world has already moved. Observe, too, the way you respond to life. You will notice that situations which once provoked fear or anger no longer disturb you. You find yourself underscore pausing underscore before reacting. You choose differently. You speak more gently. You see others more compassionately. You no longer act from lack. You act from fullness. And that is no small thing. That is the world reflecting your new sinner. If you are wise, you will write these moments down, not to keep score, but to underscore witness your own transformation underscore. Carry a journal during your 48 hours and mark every small victory. I felt calm this morning for no reason. I spoke kindly to myself instead of criticizing. I noticed how quickly I returned to my phrase after a setback. Someone treated me in a way that mirrored my new state. I smiled today. In minute. These are not coincidences. These are confirmations. You may also experience what I call underscore moments of divine flow underscore. Times when everything seems to align effortlessly. The right song plays. The right person calls. You feel the right place at the right time. These are signs, not because you sought them, but because you underscore became aligned underscore with the version of you who already lives in the fulfilled state. If you desire, you may even place a gentle check-in for yourself. Once in the morning, once in the evening, close your eyes and ask underscore, how deeply am I living my phrase today? Underscore, not to judge, not to pressure, but to witness. For the witness is powerful. The soul that sees itself growing invites more growth. And above all, monitor your progress by the feeling of faith itself. Not blind faith, but embodied faith. The kind of faith that no longer asks underscore if underscore, but says with quiet certainty, underscore of course. Underscore, you say your phrase now with a smile. You feel your future now as memory. You walk now with the rhythm of peace. This is how you know The world may not yet have rearranged itself fully, but you have. And that, dear soul, is the true evidence. For the outer must always mirror the inner. The tree must produce after the nature of the seed. So continue. Monitor your state, not your circumstances. Track your peace, not your proofs. And you will see, perhaps slowly, perhaps all at once, that everything is beginning to respond to the one truth you dare to repeat, to feel, to believe. Underscore, it is already mine. Underscore is already done. Underscore, I'm already that. Underscore, now, you stand at the threshold, not of knowledge, but of underscore transformation underscore. You have heard the call. You have seen the path. You have been handed the key. And I say to you with solemn joy, 48 hours is all it takes. Not a lifetime, not a pilgrimage. Just 2 days. 2 days of holy attention. 2 days of inner loyalty. 2 days of speaking as if it were already so. And in those 2 days, the impossible begins to soften. The immovable begins to bend. The forgotten dream begins to breathe again. Not because the world has changed first, but because underscore you have underscore. Now the invitation is before you. Choose your phrase. Not tomorrow, not someday. Now, let it rise from the core of your desire, and let it clothe you like a second skin. Speak it with reverence. Feel it with depth. Return to it with devotion. Then begin, today, not as a skeptic, but as one who dares to believe. Not because you need to underscore test the law underscore, but because you are ready to underscore be the law in motion underscore. You are no longer asking for a sign. You are becoming one. So I invite you now, asterisk, take the 48-hour challenge, asterisk. Begin this sacred experiment, not as a task, but as an initiation. Let this be the moment you look back on and say, underscore, that was when everything began to shift. Underscore, let your phrase walk with you in the morning. Let it return to you in the stillness of midday. Let it sing you into sleep at night. And watch, oh watch, how life begins to respond. And when it does, share it, testify. Speak not only to yourself, but to others, for your story will be the signpost that lights another's way. You're not alone on this path. There's a great cloud of witnesses, souls who have dared and seen, and now live from the harvest of what once was only a whisper within. Join them, and let your voice be added to the chorus of creators who have remembered, I am the operant power. You do not need more time. You do not need permission. You do not need to earn it. You only need to assume it. Now, the phrase is waiting. The inner temple is open. The power is within you, quiet, radiant, ready. Will you speak it? Will you feel it? Will you become it? Then begin. And let this be the first moment of the life that was always yours. Underscore, you are the word made flesh. Underscore, you are the dream fulfilled. Underscore, you are the miracle unfolding. Underscore, and it all begins with a phrase and 48 hours of becoming. Now go and create as the gods do from within.